Good morning. Welcome to Lesson 96 in A Course in Miracles. Salvation comes from my one self. Although you are one self, you experience yourself as two, as both good and evil, loving and hating, mind and body. This sense of being split into opposite induces feelings of acute and constant conflict and leads to frantic attempts to reconcile the contradictory aspects of this self-perception. You have sought many solutions, and none of them has worked. The opposites you see in you will never be compatible, but one exists. The fact that truth and illusion cannot be reconciled, no matter how you try, what means you use, and where you see the problem, must be accepted if you would be saved. Until you have accepted this, you will attempt an endless list of goals you cannot reach, a senseless series of expenditures of time and effort, hopefulness and doubt, each one as futile as the one before, and failing as the next one surely will. Problems that have no meaning cannot be resolved within the framework they are set. Two selves in conflict could not be resolved, and good and evil have no meeting place. The self you made can never be your higher self, nor can your higher self be split in two and still be what it is and must be forever. A mind and body cannot both exist. Make no attempt to reconcile the two, for one denies the other can be real. If you are physical, your mind is gone from your self-concept, for it has no place in which it could be really part of you. If you are spirit, then the body must be meaningless to your reality. Spirit makes use of mind as means to find its self-expression, and the mind which serves the spirit is at peace and filled with joy. Its power comes from spirit, and it's fulfilling it happily its function here. Yet mind can also see itself divorced from spirit and perceive itself within a body it confuses with itself. Without its function, then, it has no peace, and happiness is alien to its thoughts. Yet, mind apart from spirit cannot think. It has denied its source of strength and sees itself as helpless, limited, and weak. Dissociated from its function now, it thinks it is alone and separate, attacked by armies massed against itself and hiding in the body's frail support. Now must it reconcile unlike with like, for this is what it thinks that it is for. Waste no more time on this. Who can resolve the senseless conflicts which a dream presents? What could the resolution mean in truth? What purpose could it serve? What is it for? Salvation cannot make illusions real, nor solve a problem that does not exist. Perhaps you hope it can. Yet you would have God's plan for the release of his dear son bring pain to him and fail to set him free? Your self retains its thoughts, and they remain within your mind and in the mind of God. The Holy Spirit holds salvation in your mind and offers it the way to peace. Salvation is a thought you share with God, because his voice accepted it for you and answered in your name that it was done. Thus is salvation kept among the thoughts your higher self holds dear and cherishes for you. We will attempt today to find this thought, whose presence in your mind is guaranteed by him who speaks to you from your one self, again, higher self. Our hourly 5-minute practicing will be a search for him within your mind. Salvation comes from this one self through him who is the bridge between your mind and it. Wait patiently and let him speak to you about yourself and what your mind can do, restored to it and free to serve its will. Begin with saying this: salvation comes from my one self. Its thoughts are mine to use. Then seek its thoughts and claim them as your own. These are your own real thoughts you have denied, and let your mind go wandering in a world of dreams to find illusions in their place. Here are your thoughts, the only ones you have. Salvation is among them. Find it there. If you succeed, the thoughts that come to you will tell you you are saved. and that your mind has found the function that it sought to lose. Yourself will welcome it and give it peace. You're restored in strength. It will again flow out from spirit to the spirit in all things created by the spirit as itself. Your mind will bless all things. Confusion done, you are restored, for you have found yourself. Yourself knows that you cannot fail today. Perhaps your mind remains uncertain yet a little while. Be not dismayed by this. The joy yourself experiences, it will save for you, and it will yet be yours in full awareness. Every time you spend 5 minutes of your hour seeking him who joins your mind and self, you offer him another treasure be kept for you. Each time today you tell your frantic mind, salvation comes from your one self, you lay another treasure in your growing store, and all of it is given everyone who asks for it and will accept the gift. Think then how much is given unto you to give this day, that it be given to you. And that is lesson 96. Salvation comes from my one self. I think because it's long, I'm going to just go on and read Tina Spalding's channelings. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. Salvation is an idea in the mind of God. You have stepped away from the connection you naturally have with love. This is something very important for you to remember, that you chose separation at some point in the eternal now. It seems to have taken place in the past, but when you think about it, do you still choose separation? Do you still choose to attack now? This is something you all must look at. When you think, well, why would I have chosen not love? Why would I have chosen to come into this difficult and challenging arena? I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home to love. You can, but you must choose love to go home. Think about the times in your day when you say unloving things about yourself, you attack yourself, or you think a hateful thought about another. Think about the times in your day when you are impatient, judgmental, angry, insecure, or fearful. Every one of these moments blocks your return home. You must honestly assess how dedicated you are to salvation. Many beings say they want to go home. They want to be held in the arms of God once more, but 1,000 times a day they choose not to love themselves or another. Think about that. What choices do you make? Do you choose to follow your heart home to love, or do you choose to feel separate from others, abandoned and attacked, and then judge this and feel unfairly treated? These are all ideas in your mind that do not love. My purpose here is to remind you of the truth. You are the captain of your ship. You decide how you use your energy, your mind every single day. You decide how you use your body every single day. What use do you give your body? Do you use it to pursue salvation? Do you use it to pursue true love? Not the romantic love of your world, but rather true love, self-acceptance, acceptance of your brothers and sisters, self-expression, and the appreciation of your talents, ideas, and passions. I am that one that you know as Jesus. We will speak to you again tomorrow. This can be such a confusing idea because it's really almost impossible to kind of wrap our heads around this idea from our small mind perspective. Salvation comes from my one self. It's almost as if my one self is that God self, and my mind might be the Holy Spirit, which is where I have both worlds within me and I can choose one or the other. And then my body is the ego self rather than the Son. As all beings are the one Son of God. Again, there is no gender here. It was using familiar terms when the book was channeled. We are all the one Son of God. We are all one with God because we share his mind. He has given us all of his powers. And what this is talking about is we can use the body as merely a communication device. We can use it almost like we would a car, but it does not define who we are, and it is not who we are. Much like the fact that our cars are not us, and after a certain amount of time, we can exchange that for another car without hindering ourselves. This body means nothing, but so often in this world, we identify with the body. This is not where our salvation lies. Our salvation lies in remembering that we are not in this world. Carol Howe does Course in Miracles lessons, and she was a student, or a friend, I should say, of William Thetford, one of the original scribes of the Course in Miracles. And she used this analogy that when she and her brother were little, they used to ride their little bikes around the carpet, the edge of the carpet, and they would pretend that in the center of that was water. And she said, you can't reconcile the carpet and the pretend water because they are not in the same realm. We can't reconcile the world of our body with our spirit because they are not in the same realm. And so trying to make them both the same thing just won't work. This is not a lesson that we necessarily need to take in and understand and be able to analyze. This is something that we need to embody, if you will. And so they are encouraging you to simply see what happens as you meditate. Use the lesson, the mantra, if you will. Salvation comes from my one self. And then just allow spirit to show you what salvation means, to show you what your one self looks like, to give you a feeling or a sensation of what that connection is like. And as we move into this, the more that we move into love, the closer we get to home. We are all human. We are here for an experience. We have judgments. Don't get caught up in the judgments. Don't get caught up in the traumas and the dramas. Every time you have the awareness, choose love. Even if that's all you say, I choose love, I choose love, I choose love. Let that be your mantra, and spirit can do the rest of the work for you. And you will begin to see that you move farther and farther away from all of those judgments because you begin to see yourself in others and you begin to see others in yourself. And then you realize that we are only one and that we are all learning the same lesson. And we are all just looking to go home and to reconnect in that oneness. And when we let go of all of the judgments and when we stop fighting against one another, we will go home. Have a miraculous day, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.